Hello and welcome back to Forza Motorsport 7. I am NDSMATV and this is the March DLC with absolutely no other title because, well, that's the thing. There is no other title, it's just the March DLC. So, we're at the Homestead Raceway today in Florida. Not really in real life or anything, but in game, of course. And we're starting with the oldest car in this DLC, the Alfa Romeo XC2300. Of course, all of these are modified because apparently they made a new system in which you obtain the cars once you launch the game instead of having to go to buy every single car in the DLC, which is interesting, I guess. So let's see how things turn out for our new sets of vehicles for the month of March. This car will not go this fast in real life. I swear, I don't think this car would go this fast in real life. Yeah, it's kind of nimble, but again, this car has homologation, so that's exactly why it's as fast as it is right now. There is no other way this car would have been able as anything else for its time period. Yeah, there's no way. It has 300 horsepower with the homologation standards. So let's see what our next vehicle is today. So if anyone remembers Forza 6 and Forza 5, there's been these rather powerful cars that are like really powerful Formula 1-like vehicles. This Brabham would fit in that same kind of division. With open wheel cars, you stay on the lower gears just to get better acceleration, and so you don't have to do as much work. yeah, this is obviously rather nimble, and if you know what you're doing, you can really do good. You could be very well overpowered considering where you're located on the homologation scale, which means you're an overpowered beast. Also considering that I think this is from the 70s or 80s, and with as much power as it does have, according to this game, it has 500 horsepower, and so it meets the homologation requirements perfectly. That means you have, quite literally, a powerful car with 500 horsepower in mind. And I'm assuming that without the homologation, you probably would be doing too good in the game, might I add. So I guess next up we go on to our off-roader of the episode, because there's never enough of these lying around, with the Chevrolet Corvette ZR2. Not the Corvette, Colorado. Because there's no such thing as a Corvette ZR2, I meant Colorado. I know there's a ZR1 Corvette, but this is the Colorado. What did you expect? A V6? Oh, right. That's pretty normal. Also blue Chevrolet badge for some reason. Yeah, it's in the D class for a good reason. Although it is a more powerful truck than the Ram was, I can honestly say that this is a better car than the Ram that appeared in the last month. But I guess we'll go ahead and jump about halfway across the alphabet, because it's the perfect amount of skips to the next letter in the alphabet, of course, because we have the XJR5 from 1983, which, according to its homologated stats, means it has to have 750 horsepower. More powerful than the F1, but is it actually a good thing to drive with the assist that I have set? Oh my god, this says this is way too much power. I think this weighs... This is probably very light. No wonder this thing hasn't taken off yet. Probably the fastest thing you'll see on the track today, boys and girls. Wait a minute. Wait, why? You can actually quarter cut in the blue and still get clean laps? I should totally do that sometime. I don't know if I should or not. It all depends on how Forza determines things. But it was a pretty decent car. It's probably a bit too light to be as powerful as it is, but... Let's see, how light is this thing? Less than 2,000 pounds. That explains a lot, actually. A lot of people have been asking if Lincoln will ever return to a Forza title since the older Continental appeared, and the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Look at this thing. I hope you're interested. I seriously hope you've invested all your time and money into this at this point, because things are about to get really interesting. Looks kind of like a Hyundai Zero to me. I don't know why. It looks like a Hyundai of some sort, but it's not. I know it's not a Hyundai. It's just really weird. Because of course we all know it's a Lincoln. It's a Lincoln. And the doorknobs are on the top for some reason. There's a giant infotainment screen in the middle of the center console. Because it's a Lincoln and people want to see giant screens. Giant touch screens. While they're driving. Because people want to drive luxury sports, not really sports sedans in this game. It's a boat. .400 horsepower. But it's probably just because it's homologated. Does this look interesting, everyone? Drifting time. Still shaving off time? Okay, I think I'm done. I'm done doing this. Yeah, I was just messing around. I wasn't even intending on continuing with that drift. So what's next on our little agenda here? So a new Nissan has challenged us. Let's see. Where is it located? Oh, come on, this menu is so slow. There we go. A 300ZX from, what year is this? 1988. Probably has more horsepower than it does here. And it's an old peanut car. This calls for precision and order with planters. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. In and out. So yeah, let's see how much horsepower this Nissan has, because I'm thinking it has less than it should. I'm assuming it has like 700 in reality, because most of these cars do. It has 623, so it may be just a little bit restrictive in terms of what they're asking for in homologated forms. But I guess we have to jump the rest of the way across the alphabet because there's only one more DLC car, and I'm restarting the list for some reason. It's another SUV type of vehicle. It's the XC90 this time around. And yes, it's a Volvo XC90. Oh look, a vertical touchscreen. Notice a pattern, anyone? Let's just hope the groupers don't make this car have a bad reputation, please. Okay, let's see how much power this thing makes. I'm gonna slow it all the way down. Let's see how much horsepower we have. So about 500-ish. That makes sense. But then again, it's a Swedish SUV with the top-of-the-line performance package from what I'm not sure if it's an excellent. I'm on this typically 5, so I think sort of trap me because they have nothing else to touch. The fact that there's a lot more like esports stuff within Forza 7, so I guess since I need more time on these live streams, let's just check the main menu to see what else has changed. A Forza RC button for multiplayer exists now, so if you want to deal with that, you now have a direct way of dealing with it. The marketplace obviously showcases the new car pack, which literally, like I said, is just called the March Car Pack. And if you want to know how much the actual specs refer to, 155 horsepower for the unmodified 8C, 500 horsepower for the BT45, so I think there was not much of a change. The Colorado ZR2 only has 308 horsepower. This Jaguar XJR5 has 500 horsepower, so it's not as it's a little more powerful than you'd expect. The Lincoln Continental has 400 horsepower. The Bob Sharp Racing 300ZX has 680. And the Volvo XC90 also has 400 horsepower. So if you're curious as to what these cars actually have in terms of performance, there you go, because I've just figured it out. As for anything with the settings, I'll check. I kind of doubt anything really has changed. I was looking for groove music, but there is no groove music. It doesn't exist. I mean, it's the same stuff you've seen since day one, it appears. HUD hasn't really changed. You can tell what I'm talking about. Well, besides like a couple things related to like esports and making it an even better experience. And I'm hearing the paint shop got some major upgrades as well. I think that covers this month in terms of what I'm supposed to be talking about, because I just talked about the car pack, and I probably don't want... You know what, I'm going to go to a car I don't own and just show you what I'm looking at here. What the new paint shop is like. I'm going to do it on a car I don't really care for. This AMC Pacer will have to be my test subject. Just to showcase what the new... Oh, it just gave me like my XC90. That's silly. That is freaking silly. That's not what I was expecting at all. I'm gonna go right back and see if the Pacer is still there, because... Yeah, no, I chose nothing at this point. Yeah, you probably know what the whole paint shop deal is, so if you want to go ahead and check that out on your own, I guess you could at some point. I probably won't go through the entirety of the paint shop. But I think that's it.